Hey, what's going on, fellas? What's going on? What's going on? So you got all these typical females that aren't real women that have ran around with a lot of these typical males that aren't real men. And, you know, these typical males, they got a lot of baby mamas, a lot of exes, a lot of side chicks. You know what I'm saying? You name it. But yet these guys get away with it. These chicks say things like, well, he has big dick energy. They say things like that. However, over time, and I guess maybe at the same time, she talking about how she got standards. Well, you didn't have standards when you let Mr. Big Dick Energy show up. So why all of a sudden now? Well, it's not what you think, fellas. And I know a lot of guys have talked about this before, but let's talk about what's in store, okay? So speaking on what's been talked about before, well, they let the typical male that's not being a real man. I was gonna say the typical male that's being the big dick energy from their perspective, but yeah, he still ain't a real man, if you will. They let him get away with doing whatever, you know, because they're still trying to find themselves, still trying to figure themselves out. Sweetie, you're supposed to get around a real man in order for you to really find yourself, in order for you to really figure yourself out. He's the closest thing to the Creator. That's what the righteous man basically is. In many ways, without him, there's no you. Just like without the Creator, there's no us. You see? And I don't mean that just in regards to existence. I mean that also in regards to coexistence. Because how is this thing going to work between me and you if you're not on the same page as me? Or let's say if I was on a lower vibration, if I'm not on the same page as you, boo, bae, you know, but this is what happens. Once again, like they'll let the typical male, or what they call the bad boy, get away with doing whatever, having all these typical situations, doing whatever he want, having all these different chicks that he be around, and then she wants to claim she got her heart broken, she tired of guys cheating and all that. Well, sweetie, you was around the wrong example. What makes you think that the righteous man, which I define as a nice guy, what makes you think that he doesn't have a lot of women as well? What makes him different from the bad boy type, if you will, is he doesn't disrespect the women that are in his life. He doesn't throw nobody under the bus. He doesn't favor one over the other, okay? Whereas in your situation, if you got tied down with the bad boy type, the typical male type, not the real man type, well, yeah, he's going to be throwing you under the bus. Yeah, he ain't going to talk to you until he feels like it. But you call that being alpha? No, that's not being alpha. See, a man that's really on his alphaism, as I call it, he's always got you in mind. He always has you as a priority. He always has you as a responsibility. His ability to respond, your ability to respond. You know, you both have a responsibility. And that's the reason why he's around you. Because of the great level of you two's ability to respond. But he knows other women like that in his life as well. And it all works out well. No one be tripping because they see, well, no matter how many women he has in his life, he takes care of every woman that's around him. He's a what? Responsible person. He responds to me when I call him. I make sure I reciprocate that to him. See, that's what the women are like in this guy's life. Yeah, that's what the women are like in this guy's life. Like, they truly see him as that king in many ways. They see him as of great royalty. They don't just see him as just a play toy, a playboy. you know? But yeah, in a nutshell, all I'm trying to say is what has been said before, I just basically discussed, right? With how, these chicks let a certain guy get away with certain behaviors, but then want to throw all this burden of responsibility upon a righteous man that shows up, how she wants to make him out to be her type of nice guy. Now, what's the story is, fellas, she just basically want you to simp. They all want righteous men to simp. They all want to look at you as this sort of virgin, this 30-year-old virgin that, you don't look like the type that would be out with a lot of different women. That, like, what makes you think he doesn't have different women? It's just that he's more respectful and more righteous. Yeah, he's more respectful and he's more righteous with all these different women. Unlike that bad boy type that you obviously got screwed over by. Hopefully you're not one of his baby moms. You feel me? To all the females out there who haven't really understood the concept of real womanhood, if you seriously think that a righteous man that's always been a nice guy is only going to gravitate to you, keep dreaming. See, it's not only the high value man that has options. A high vibrational man has options as well, because he's always been a nice guy and he's always been a righteous man to the best of his ability. No one's perfect, but the thing is that the reality goes as such. Just because a lot of the feminine do come around the righteous man, that doesn't mean that they can harmonize their vibration with him. So, sweetie, the thing is, you should be trying to harmonize with him in ways others don't. So the last thing on your mind really needs to be about the others that come around, because only so many of them, if any, will actually harmonize with them. And what is to be jealous about? They are of a different note than you. But on that note, that's where too many arguments come from. Because first of all, like the masculine doesn't necessarily gravitate to the feminine. The feminine gravitates to the masculine. It's like a magnetic pull of the planets, if you will. But it's based on the man having a certain magnetic personality about himself. And then check this out. Here's another example of how a lot of them try to put the nice guy in that 30-year-old virgin bracket or box. Mainly it's, well, of course, that typical female that wasn't being a real woman. She was messing around with all these bad boys, all these typical males, and no commitments, no labels. Just do what you want, live your best life, lay up, don't stay up. But when you get around a nice guy, now he has to marry you. He has to sign them papers. He has to be willing to do all this, and you're going to make sure that if he had kids with you, he going to do his part, or you're going to get him for child support. Yeah, you might have the bad boy on child support, but you ain't getting much from him. But, oh, that nice guy, he better do his part. He going to pay for it. I learned from my last mistake. Yeah, fellas, don't fall for that trap. That chick is just trying to be seductive and trying to trap you. You know what I'm saying? And for all the ladies out there, stay away from females like that. Yeah, she just trying to tie down a righteous man, giving the unrighteous male that she couldn't tie down. And it's like, that's not the way it works. He's going to know other women, but that doesn't mean he's throwing you under the bus. That's what a lot of these typical females got to realize. And the real woman, she realizes that the nice guy actually is the one with not only the big dick energy, but with the universal energy, not just limited to big dick. The bad boy has only small dick energy, really. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Thanks a million.